Welcome back to Heart of Gold. I am Paul Chartier. We have a brand new nonprofit in Lexington, the Recovery Cafe of Lexington. We have Jason Robinson and Josh Malden. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Paul.
Appreciate you having us.
Crazy that you're here. I was at another nonprofit event and met a woman who knew about your effort and said, we need to have you guys on. So here you are. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having us.
How new is it, and what was the impetus and genesis behind starting the Recovery Cafe?
So Recovery Cafe is actually so new that we don't have a location yet. That's one of our goals we're working on right now. It started out of a trip to Seattle to visit the original Recovery Cafe, and we kind of by accident were exposed to this amazing program that's been spreading across the country. The founder of the Recovery Cafe in Seattle, Killian, has a huge drive and mission to really help people, and has done an amazing job in the Seattle community, and they're starting to spread across the country now.
With a name like Killian, he should have the Recovery Bar, but that's probably for something else and he needs to start.
Well, it's actually a she. But
is Killian a she?
Killian is a she.
Women own bars.
There you go.
So what's the movement, and how did she start it, and then how are people like you finding out about it?
So she started in 2004 in Seattle, just at a super small location serving soup and salad. She realized that not only for homelessness and mental health, but people suffering with substance abuse issues really needed a place of belonging and a sense of community to kind of break the isolation is one of the problems that she saw there. And she just is a dynamo and full of energy and started this movement, and it's kind of grown over the last 15 years or so. So
between '04 and now, it's been growing through the country. What other areas or cities or states has it been effective in opening?
So the network now is primarily on the West Coast and Washington State and California. They have a location in DC that's recently opened, as well as a location in Dayton is the closest to our area. And I think there are 14 other locations now besides the original Recovery Cafe location in Seattle.
And how did you guys hear about it?
So I happened to be on a trip with my wife to Seattle, and one of her friends, Teresa, works at the Recovery Cafe, and we walked in the door to sit down and have a cup of coffee with Teresa, not knowing what to expect. And we're overwhelmed with the sense of peace and joy and happiness that people were sharing inside this cafe. And from that moment on, I've been driven to work with other co-founders to figure out how we can make this happen in Lexington.
So Jason came back from Seattle and said, I think we should start this Recovery Cafe place in Lexington. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea, and sort of kind of brushed it off. And
how long ago was that?
That was December of 2016.
Okay.
And then December of 2017, he said, we're going to go out to Seattle again. We'd love to have you and a few others join us so you can experience it ourselves. And I went out a little skeptical. And I have nonprofit experience and some altruism, but I walked in and everything he said was true. There was this sense of community and belonging, and that they were really making an impact to the people that were members of the cafe.
Now, Jason, what's your background?
My background is actually in environmental studies and drone operations, which has nothing to do with recovery stuff, but I have some personal experience in the Lexington recovery community for the past going on 12 years now, and have had a lot of experience with the different programs available to people who are seeking help with their issues, and have also experienced, and seen the areas where people tend to struggle and there's a lack of support in our community.
So you are, this town's fantastic for nonprofits, and so you saw a need, and you are cultivating the money side of things and donors and lining everything up to provide that safety net for a group of our community that is right now not being served.
That's correct. And the main group of people we see that are not being served in our community are those who may not necessarily identify with 12-step programs or religious groups per se. The ones who are kind of on the outskirts and indecisive and still need a lot of support and a lot of love and a lot of companionship, but are unable to find it because they're not sure where they fit in, and that's the need we hope to fill.
So if you have a magic wand, what does this cafe look like, and then who are the people? How do you get the message to the right people to come into the cafe?
Sure. Well, this is a big part of it, right? Networking within the community through other charities, You know, like you said, it is a great town for that. And you know, when I left the cafe with Jason, the first thing I said to him when I stepped out the door was, this is everything that Lexington isn't right now in the nonprofit and substance abuse kind of movement. We have a lot of great IOPs and treatment centers, but a place that has no obligation, you know, there's no real expectation on the member. They come into the facility, they're greeted warmly. There's a coffee bar and tea area. That's where the cafe kind of place comes from it. In a perfect world, we'd love to be open 5 or 6 days a week from probably 10 to 6. We would love the opportunity to serve a meal. So you'd have to be a member to be a part of it. So it's just not walk off the street. So there's some basic membership requirements. No cost involved, but we expect people to be substance free for 24 hours, be willing to volunteer at some level, and attend what we call a recovery circle. So with that basic membership, the facility is open to you for whatever help you can get from it.
With what nonprofits in town have you started to network with connectivity to be a place where their folks can then come and join the cafe?
So one of the biggest supporters we found so far has been the Salvation Army, who serves a very similar population that we do, the homeless population, the struggling, the ones who don't really have a place, the ones who really need to find a good place to go. And we've got great support with Major Tom there, who is actually a friend, and we have a really good relationship. So it's been great to sit down and talk with them and see how they can help us, and also, you know, we would like to be able to help them, and it's going to be a great relationship there. We've also met earlier today with Shelley and the Voices of Hope, and discussed our mission and how we can work together. And a lot of this, you know, we're still on the front end. We're still getting ourselves networked with the Lexington community and figuring out, you know, who is best to partner with and who we just need to possibly just stay out of their way and let them continue on doing what they do best, because we think it's very important that we are able to serve the community we want to serve, but we also don't want to get in anyone's way. We want everyone to stick to doing what they know best.
Well, God love both of you for being touched to get it to this point. And if you look at locations, have you looked at some places that would be ideal? And if so, is it part of an existing entity, nonprofit or church, or would you have your own freestanding location?
So ultimately, we'd like to have our own freestanding location or a facility within a building, you know, of other businesses. We have been offered some opportunities to have a smaller space to start, which we've taken a look at as well. But, you know, again, in a perfect state, we would probably like 1,500 to 2,200 square feet and an operating kitchen and at least one separate kind of office space with one common area. At the grassroots level, anybody that's been willing to open up their space to us, we would entertain the offer, and we kind of had a couple of those conversations, and none of them have really panned out quite yet, but we're still on the hunt for that.
And are you looking downtown mostly? Does that make sense, or what does make sense?
We're trying to stay downtown, basically, especially with dealing with the homeless population, excuse me. You know, having accessibility to buses and walking and riding bicycles and such is an important part to us.
And things like this take partners, you need volunteers, and you also need money. What are you doing to elicit volunteers? And then we'll talk about your fundraising efforts in a minute.
Sure. Currently, we're mostly word of mouth advertising to get the word out that we need volunteers. We have a website, recoverycafelexington.org, as well as a Facebook page. We feel that having a good, strong web presence is a great way to make sure people know we're not only out there, but that people are welcome to come and help with our cause. Once we get the doors of the cafe open, we will need a lot of help from the community to make sure that it continues to operate. And a big part of that will come from within. We will expect and trust the members of the cafe to actually help serve the other members as well. So we think that that's a big part of healing and recovery, is to feel a part of and to feel that they are valued for what they're doing.
You look like you want to say something.
No, I mean, I think Jason makes a great point that the outreach of people that we've had that, you know, as soon as you have a location, let us know, we're ready to help. How can we help right now? You know, we have the small team of co-founders, but we have some people that have kind of added on just because they knew the cause, and, you know, whether they have a marketing background or IT background. They're kind of jumping on board, and the team is already growing organically that way. So it's been excellent to see the kind of outreach and outpouring, and it's nice to know that we've kind of just had to push back a little bit and say, as soon as we get the place, we'll believe me, you'll be the first we call.
So you need a place, which requires money. Are you going to companies, people? What avenues are you going to raise money? And talk about your event coming up.
So a lot of our energy right now is going towards we call it the Rise from the Ash Bash to support the Recovery Cafe. We're going to be at Limestone Hall on February 22nd. Be a night of dinner and music. Ben Lacey and Corey Cross will be there. Renata's Bistro is going to be catering the food. And it's going to be an amazing night. We have tickets on sale now through Eventbrite and through our website. We expect we will likely sell out, and that's our hope. And the money from this will go not only towards helping us get locations secured, but to cover our training expenses and costs for when we head to Seattle in the spring.
Give the website again that people can.
Sure. Our website is www.recoverycafelexington.org.
And you talked about the team that you have right now. It's early 2019. How many people do you have right now that are just, I'm all in, what can I do to help?
Die-hard dedicated, I guess the co-founders and some assistants. Right now there's 8, I believe. Graphic designer, our IT professional, and then a marketing person. Bonnie Dowler of Stems Floral Wholesalers jumped on board. Renata's kind of, jumped on board with it. And a lot of people are sort of, how can I be a part of this? So really there's probably 5 at the core, and then maybe 8 or 9 above that, and then it kind of just branches out from there.
Well, this is a marketing piece right here that we can help with to get the word out. Any companies in town that you're identifying that you want to partner with, that you want to talk about?
We have not met with any companies to look at funding yet. We do know that the Recovery Cafe in Seattle, the original cafe, has really good working relationships with Amazon and with United Way. We suspect that in the future we'll be able to sit with them and have a meeting and discuss how we may work together and help them. And that would be great with Amazon having a nice local presence. We hope that they will be willing to help here as they do in Seattle.
Do we have a homeless problem in Lexington? I don't know. I mean, to me, if one person's on the street, that's a problem to them.
Sure, absolutely.
But to identify these people who are in these situations and to have them go someplace that they're welcome and have a function of a roadmap for them that they can stay on, good for you guys for doing this. This is fantastic.
Thank you.
In the last minute, make a plea to people to go to your website and get involved either financially, come to the event, or get the word out.
Sure. And the biggest need we have right now is to get the word out to the community. We would love anyone's support. Please check out our website or our Facebook page. It will get you to the same place. Feel free to call us anytime. And also, please just keep us in your thoughts and prayers as we move forward. We trust that this is something that's come from deep in our hearts, and there's something bigger moving behind it. So, please keep us in your thoughts and prayers. If you can make it to our fundraiser, please come, and please just keep an eye out for more news, because we plan on moving forward pretty quickly this year.
A lot of people have sat in those seats, and the passion they have for whichever nonprofit touches their heart, they'll knock down a wall to get to that goal. And for whatever has touched both of you to make this happen, best of luck to both of you. Hopefully this is a platform to get the word out, and come on again. We'd love to hear the success story in a year.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We look forward to it.
Thank you. Good luck, guys. I'll be right back. I'm Paul Chartier. This is Heart of Gold.